They tell you kindness is the answer. That if you care deeply, give generously, stay gentle, the world will shield you, honor you, return the favor. But Machiavelli didn't see kindness as a gift. He saw it as a liability. A gate left ajar, a vulnerability begging to be exploited. A man who depends on kindness will be crushed by it. A man who commands brutality survives. Not because kindness is wrong, but because it's naive and the world is not. Where kindness begins, strategy ends. You care for your family, your friends, your partner. You pour your heart out, forgive their slights, excuse their flaws even when they wound you deeply. You hold the door open, expecting they'll do the same. And what? Because kindness clouds your judgment. It dulls your instincts. You stop calculating. You stop guarding your strength. You assume, if I would never harm them, they'd never harm me. But Machiavelli would scoff at that. He knew even those closest to you, your siblings, your lifelong friends, your spouse, will undermine you if it serves their purpose, especially when they know you won't strike back. The danger isn't in strangers lurking in the shadows. It's in the intimacy of familiarity. Strangers fear your unpredictability, your silence, your potential to retaliate. But the people you care for grow comfortable with your gentleness, your openness, your leniency. They lean into it, take it for granted, and over time, they expect your support without effort, demand your forgiveness without change, lash out when you finally draw a line. Because kindness, when unguarded, turns you into a resource, a well they can draw from endlessly, not always deliberately, but inevitably. Machiavelli didn't advocate abandoning kindness. He advocated controlling it, wielding it with precision. You care but with limits. You give but with consequences. You love but with a plan. Because without boundaries, kindness becomes emotional surrender, a slow bleed that drains your power. And emotional surrender is the most exploitable position a powerful man can occupy. Let's be clear, to be brutal isn't to be heartless. It's to be deliberate. Deliberate about how people shift when they're too close, how their respect erodes when they know your heart is open. Deliberate about what you sacrifice when you're too transparent, too forgiving. Deliberate about what kindness becomes when it's unquestioned. Entitlement. Machiavelli understood something most miss. The ones who claim to love you unconditionally, your parents, your partner, your closest friends, can still harm you unintentionally. They don't mean to, but their comfort with your kindness blinds them to your cost. And the ones who stay close only for what you offer, your time, your support, your resources, will harm you purposefully, testing how far they can push before you push back. So the solution isn't to stop caring. It's to stop leading with care. The moment you lead with kindness, you lose leverage. Ever wonder why your family dismisses your advice, even when it's sound? Why your friends take you for granted once they've gotten what they need? Why your partner doesn't fear losing you, no matter how much you give? Because they know your kindness overrides your logic. They know you'll soften first, return first, excuse first. You'll never enforce consequences. And that makes you predictable, gentle, safe. Machiavelli warned, it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But with those closest to you, being feared feels wrong, unnatural, even cruel. So you stop playing the game and they start winning it. The cost of staying kind is steep. You lower your standards, tolerate behavior you'd condemn in strangers, forgive without change, stay silent to keep the peace. But the peace you're keeping is just everyone else's comfort with your weakness. You become the one who absorbs their chaos, who excuses their disrespect, who carries their burdens while they walk freely. And when someone is comfortable with your weakness, they'll test it, prod it, exploit it. They'll push your boundaries, not because they hate you, but because they've learned you'll bend. You don't have to stop caring. You just have to care with boundaries so sharp they draw blood. Let them feel your warmth, but never without a shield behind it. Because the moment your kindness becomes unconditional, so does your pain. Strangers don't break you. It's always the ones you let closest. Your brother who borrows money without repaying, your friend who vents but never listens, your partner who dismisses your needs because they know you'll stay. Machiavelli understood why. He wasn't cruel. He was precise. He knew the people who know your triggers, your limits, Your soft spots are the most likely to exploit them, not out of malice, but out of opportunity. They've stopped fearing you because your kindness signals safety. And when fear leaves a relationship, respect follows close behind. Let's talk about the tests of exploitation, the patterns that reveal when your kindness has become a liability. These are the moments when those closest to you expose their expectations, their entitlement, their assumption that your care is guaranteed. Test 1. The entitlement trap. They stop thanking you for your time, your help, your sacrifices. They stop asking for your permission or considering what you're giving up. Your sister expects you to babysit every weekend without asking if you're free. Your friend assumes you'll cover their tab because you always have. Your partner takes your emotional support as a given, never pausing to acknowledge the weight you carry. Because in their mind, you're already theirs. They assume you'll always support, always show up, always say yes. And the moment you don't, you're selfish, you've changed, you're cruel. But Machiavelli would say, let them complain. That's just the sound of someone mourning the loss of their leverage over you. They're not upset because they care. They're upset because they've lost the version of you who gave without question. Test 2. The guilt maneuver. You set a boundary, say no to a favor, decline a demand, protect your time, and they get emotional. Your mother brings up how much she's done for you. Your friend reminds you of that one time they helped you move. Your partner calls you distant, cold, unloving. It's not a discussion anymore, it's a tactic. They've learned that if they can make you feel guilty, they can make you reverse any decision. And if you waver, they store it away. They'll use it again, like a weapon sharpened by your own kindness. That's not care. That's manipulation. And if you can't hold your ground when guilt enters the equation, you never had a boundary to begin with. Test 3. The loyalty cycle. You've been loyal, generous, consistent, always there when they need you. You're the one who picks up the phone at 2 a.m., who drops everything to help, who puts their needs before your own. But when you're the only one giving, it becomes expected. They stop checking in, stop reciprocating, show up only when it benefits them. Your cousin calls when he needs a loan but forgets your birthday. Your friend texts when they're in crisis but ignores your messages when you're struggling. Your partner leans on you for support but bristles when you ask for the same. And when you finally pull back, they panic. Not because they care, but because they've lost their safety net, their emotional crutch, their reliable resource. Machiavelli would warn, if your loyalty is predictable, it will be exploited before it's valued. They don't love your loyalty, they love what it gives them. Test 4. The just this once plea. It starts small, almost innocent. Can you let this slide? Can you help me out this time? Can you overlook my mistake? Just this once. Your brother asks to borrow your car again, promising to return it clean. Your friend asks you to cover their shift, swearing it's a one-time thing. Your partner asks you to forgive their outburst, claiming it won't happen again. But the moment you agree, it's never just once. You become the person who can be swayed because you've shown you won't stand firm. They know you'll bend your principles as long as they stay close, as long as they frame it as a small exception. That's not care. That's calculated pressure, a test to see how far they can push your kindness before you push back. Test 5. The you're too harsh defense. You speak directly, and they call you brutal. You step back to protect your energy, and they call you cold. You stop being endlessly forgiving, and they label you heartless. This is how they turn your strength into a flaw, reframing your boundaries as cruelty to guilt you back into submission. Your father says you're too hard on him when you refuse to lend money again. Your friend calls you distant when you stop answering their late-night rants. Your partner accuses you of not caring when you demand accountability. But the truth is, they don't miss your kindness. They miss the version of you who let them act without consequence, who absorbed their chaos without protest. And now that version's gone, they call it cruelty. But it's just clarity. Machiavelli would expect all this. He'd say, the closer someone is to you, the more they expect you to absorb their chaos. And if you don't, they'll call you brutal. They'll say you're different. They'll frame your growth as betrayal. Let them. Because the man who fears upsetting everyone he cares for ends up surrounded by people who care only about how easily they can upset him. They don't want your strength. They want your compliance. And when you refuse to give it, They'll weaponize your kindness against you, calling it selfishness, cruelty, or worse. But Machiavelli would tell you to stand firm. Let their words crash against your resolve. Because the moment you stop absorbing their chaos, you start reclaiming your power. So how do you embrace brutality without losing yourself? Machiavelli didn't build walls to keep people out. He built filters to test who deserved to stay. Let's talk about the rules to make brutality your shield, not your sword, rules that protect your power while preserving your humanity. Rule 1. Never justify your distance. You don't owe an explanation for needing space, for saying no, for stepping back from toxic patterns. The more you explain, the more you hand them leverage to argue, to guilt, to manipulate. Your sister asks why you're not as available anymore. Your friend demands to know what's changed. Your partner questions why you're so distant. Don't argue. Don't spill your reasons. Say, I've adjusted. That silence, that refusal to emotionally unravel, commands respect or exposes who was never capable of giving it. Machiavelli would say explaining invites negotiation. Acting without permission signals strength. When they push, don't push back, step back. Let your absence speak louder than any words could. Rule 2. Set consequences, not requests. Most people plead for better treatment. Don't speak to me like that again. Please don't disrespect me. I deserve better. Machiavelli would never beg. He'd create structures where disrespect costs. You don't say, stop that. You show, when you do that, I'm gone. Your brother disrespects your boundaries? You don't lecture, you limit contact. Your friend takes you for granted? You don't complain, you withdraw support. Your partner dismisses your needs? You don't argue, you reduce access. And you don't return when they plead, when they promise change, when they tug at your heartstrings. You return when you choose, if at all. Boundaries don't ask, they act. That's how they gain power. Rule 3. Never negotiate with emotion. Once they know you break under pressure, panic when ignored, or rush to fix silence, they stop respecting your mind and start playing your feelings. Your mother's tears make you second-guess your boundaries. Your friend's silence makes you question your stance. Your partner's anger makes you scramble to appease. Machiavelli would never allow this because emotional clarity is armor. When pierced, they don't aim for your logic, they aim for your wounds. Protect yourself by being unreadable under stress. No desperate messages explaining your hurt. No emotional outbursts begging for understanding. No impulsive returns after being disrespected. Your silence is your strength. Your calm is your stance. If they want your kindness, they'll earn it again, through actions, not promises. Rule 4. Define what you tolerate and never bend. Most people's boundaries shift based on who's asking, how long they've known them, or how emotionally drained they are. That's weakness. That's emotional erosion, and it destroys your value. Set clear, non-negotiable rules. I don't respond to disrespect, no matter who it's from. Once I set a boundary, it holds until I lift it. I don't accept apologies without consistent change. Then follow through without exception. Your cousin yells during an argument? You don't engage, you walk away. Your friend ignores your needs? You don't chase, you distance. Your partner repeats a hurtful behavior? You don't forgive, you limit access. People don't test what's absolute, they test what's flexible. Machiavelli didn't punish often, but when he did, it was precise, cold, final. You must do the same, or they'll keep gambling with your forgiveness, knowing you'll fold under pressure. Rule 5. Don't fear being called brutal. This is where most falter. They know they're being used, their peace disturbed, their energy drained. But the moment they enforce boundaries, they feel guilty. Society tells you, if you're not endlessly kind, you're cruel. If you don't explain, you're arrogant. If you don't forgive, you're heartless. Your family calls you cold for refusing to enable their chaos. Your friends call you selfish for prioritizing your time. Your partner calls you unloving for demanding accountability. But Machiavelli didn't fear labels. He feared being seen as weak, as predictable, as exploitable. Let them call you what they want. Let them rewrite your character to suit their narrative. When you fear perception over reality, you trade power for approval. And approval changes nothing. You're not brutal. You're uncompromising. You're not cold. You're clear. You're not heartless. You're strategic. And those who can't handle your strength will always frame it as cruelty. Let them. Their discomfort is not your burden. It's their failure to adapt to the version of you who refuses to be used. Embracing brutality doesn't mean losing your humanity. It's about balancing strength with care, power with empathy. People hesitate here, and their fear is real. They say, I don't want to become cruel. I don't want to lose my heart. If I go brutal, I might not come back. I might become someone I don't recognize. That fear comes from mistaking brutality for malice, control for cruelty. Machiavelli didn't lose his soul. He mastered when to show it, to whom, and under what conditions. In his world, and yours, feeling everything means being controlled by everything. Brutality isn't about shutting off your emotions. It's about refusing to let them dictate your actions when strategy is needed. You still love, support, connect, but only within boundaries you've set, boundaries that protect you from becoming a pawn in someone else's emotional game. Let's talk about staying powerful without becoming the monster they accuse you of being. Step 1. Define your intent, not their perception. Ask yourself, am I setting boundaries to harm them or to protect myself? Am I creating distance to punish or to preserve my energy? Am I silent to manipulate or because I've said enough? If your answer is self-protection, not vengeance, you're on the right path. Your brother might call you brutal for refusing to lend money again, but you're not punishing him, you're protecting your resources. Your friend might call you cold for stepping back, but you're not attacking them, you're safeguarding your peace. Your partner might call you heartless for demanding accountability, but you're not rejecting them, you're upholding your worth. Machiavelli didn't care about seeming noble. He cared about holding ground. And those who hold ground without malice are rare. That's your role now. Step 2. Show kindness without lowering your guard. There's nothing wrong with giving another chance, helping someone you've distanced, or showing care to those who've hurt you. The danger lies in forgetting why you pulled back in the first place. Your cousin apologizes for taking you for granted, fine, but don't erase the boundary. Your friend promises to change, good, but don't ignore the pattern. Your partner vows to do better, okay, but don't return without proof. When you give, don't erase the standard. Don't ignore the consequence. Don't re-engage without terms. You can offer warmth, but never surrender. That's the balance. Kindness with a spine, care with a cost. Step 3. Control your presence, not just your absence. People think distance equals power, but Machiavelli knew a controlled presence is stronger. Show up briefly, intentionally, with purpose. Speak with clarity, act with resolve, and leave while they still feel your weight. You don't need to argue, explain, or dominate. You become the reminder, not the villain, not the emotional wreck, not the chaos, the calm, the one who's always a step ahead. Your sister feels your absence when you stop calling daily, but your measured return shifts the dynamic. Your friend notices your restraint when you stop overextending, but your brief presence commands respect. Your partner senses your strength when you don't chase, but your calculated engagement sets new terms. That's authority without aggression, power without chaos. Step 4. Maintain standards, not control. You can't force people to respect you. You can only make disrespect costly. Don't demand apologies, they're meaningless without change. Don't force understanding, they'll only understand what serves them. Don't beg for communication, they'll only talk when they need you. Instead, withdraw access. Remove emotional privileges. Let silence do the work. Your mother crosses a line? Limit your availability, not with anger, but with precision. Your friend takes you for granted? Reduce your support, not with resentment, but with clarity. Your partner ignores your needs? Restrict your vulnerability, not with spite, but with strategy. If they meet your standard, re-engage. If not, they didn't belong beside your growth. Step 5. Make your kindness selective, not depleted. You don't stop being kind. You stop being reckless with it. Give it slowly, after observation, with clear boundaries and exit plans. Your brother asks for help? Assess his track record before agreeing. Your friend needs support? Confirm they've respected your boundaries first. Your partner wants your trust? Require consistent actions, not just words. If they call it transactional, let them. Unconditional kindness sounds noble until it's weaponized against your peace. Give only what aligns with your strength, energy, and vision. That's not selfish. It's self-mastery. Step 6. Don't defend your boundaries. Enforce them. If they call you brutal, distant, or changed, say nothing. You don't need to justify your transformation. Your mother accuses you of being cold? Keep walking. Your friend says you've switched up? Stay silent. Your partner claims you're not the same? Let them think it. Power isn't proven in arguments, it's shown in consistency. If they miss the old you, the one who gave without limits, who absorbed their chaos, let them mourn. They don't get the elevated you until they've outgrown their old selves too. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. Now, let's make brutality a lifestyle, not a theory. Machiavelli didn't preach power, he lived it. He didn't theorize about boundaries, he enforced them with precision. If you want to stay brutal in a world that begs you to soften, to return to the version of you that was easy to exploit, you need habits, rituals, repetition. These are the tools that make your boundaries permanent, unshakable, without ever needing to announce them. Habit 1. Act without emotional fanfare. Don't declare, "I'm cutting you off. I'm protecting myself. I'm done with this." Just act. Slow your responses to your cousin's endless requests. Stop over-explaining to your friend who takes you for granted. Don't re-engage with your partner after they've disrespected you. Real boundaries don't need speeches. They're written in your actions, not your words. Machiavelli didn't need approval for his silence. He made sure it was felt, by his allies, his enemies, his closest confidants. You must do the same. When your sister asks why you're distant, don't explain, let your restraint speak. When your friend demands your time, don't justify, let your absence teach. When your partner questions your change, don't defend, let your resolve stand. Silence is your signal, not your apology. Habit 2. Stay composed, never overly familiar. Your kindness shouldn't be automatic, a reflex given to anyone who asks. It's earned and maintained every time. Greet with restraint, support with purpose, leave while respected. Your brother wants your help again? Offer it sparingly after he's shown accountability. Your friend expects your loyalty? Give it cautiously after they've proven reciprocity. Your partner demands your trust? Grant it slowly after they've demonstrated consistency. This balance keeps you disciplined, untouchable, a fortress that's approachable but never conquerable. The overly familiar man is easy to exploit. His kindness is predictable, his care is guaranteed. But the precise man, the one who stays composed, is impossible to manipulate. Your brutality comes from structure, not harshness, from clarity, not chaos. Habit 3. Reflect before reacting. When someone disrespects you, don't snap, observe. When they cross a line, don't escalate, catalog it. Your mother dismisses your needs? Pause, decide. Your friend ignores your boundaries? Wait, evaluate, act. Your partner betrays your trust? Stop, analyze, Brutality isn't about lacking emotion, it's about never letting emotion act before thought. This pause, this internal filter, is your edge. When others spiral, panic, shout, or sulk, your stillness intimidates more than any outburst could. It's not your anger that scares them. It's your control. It's the quiet way you process their chaos without adding to it. That's what makes you dangerous, not your temper, but your timing. Habit 4. Never reopen what you've closed without proof. You distanced yourself for a reason. A broken promise, a repeated slight, a pattern of disrespect. Don't return without evidence of change. Your cousin apologizes for borrowing money without repaying? Fine, but don't open the door until he shows consistent responsibility. Your friend promises to respect your time? Good, but don't re-engage until they prove it over weeks, not days. Your partner vows to do better? Okay, but don't soften until their actions match their words for months, not moments. Too many return because of apologies, because time has passed, because they hope things will be different. But time doesn't heal betrayal. Standards do. If they haven't changed, you haven't lost anything by staying distant. You've gained clarity, strength, and the power to choose who deserves your presence. Habit 5. Treat your peace as a private strategy, not a public statement. Don't advertise your emotional growth, your new boundaries, your brutal mindset. You're not brutal to be admired, to be celebrated, to be understood. You're brutal to be respected, to protect your peace, to preserve your power. Don't post about your transformation. Don't announce your new rules. Don't explain your shift to those who demand answers. Live quietly. Protect fiercely. Let your self-control speak louder than any words could. Your brother notices you're less available? Let him wonder. Your friend sees you're less forgiving? Let them adjust. Your partner feels your restraint? Let them earn your warmth. That's the Machiavellian finish line. Total power, no explanation, no apology, no compromise. This is where you decide. You've seen the patterns: entitlement, guilt, exploitation. You've outgrown the version of yourself that was too kind to be safe, too open to be strong, too forgiving to be respected. Most people love like it's a battlefield but go in unarmed, defenseless, expecting their care to be their shield. They say, "I'll give everything. I'll care through their worst. They'll value me when they see it." But Machiavelli knew hope isn't a strategy. Kindness without discipline is surrender in disguise. You don't close your heart. You build a gate with a lock, a key, and a guard who knows your worth. And behind that gate is a rule. Only those who prove their consistency, their respect, their accountability gain my vulnerability. Your kindness is earned, not assumed. Your care is conditional, not because you're cruel, but because you're valuable. You're not a resource to be tapped, a well to be drained, a safety net to be relied on. You're a force, a presence, a power that demands respect before it gives anything. The final shift is accepting being misunderstood. Most people want power but also want to be liked. They want respect but also want to stay gentle, approachable, safe. Machiavelli would say, if you need approval for your growth, you've already lost the freedom to grow. You'll be called brutal and you will. You'll be seen as cold and you will. You'll lose those who loved the version of you who gave without limits, who bled on command, who absorbed their chaos without protest. Let them go. Their discomfort isn't your burden. It's their loss of access to the old you, the one who was easy to wound, easy to exploit, easy to dismiss. Brutality doesn't mean heartlessness. It doesn't mean you stop caring, stop loving, stop connecting. It means you choose when to show your heart, to whom, and under what conditions. That's not detachment. That's mastery. That's not cruelty. That's control. That's not selfishness. That's strategy. You've learned the tests of exploitation. You've built the rules of brutality. You've embraced the habits of power. Now live them. Because in a world that demands your softness, that begs you to stay open, vulnerable, and endlessly forgiving, the most powerful act is to stay brutal, strategic, unyielding, and unapologetically in control of your own peace.